Hey everyone, this is H2, coach of the San Diego Sandiles, bringing you my Week 2 battle. This time it's against the Worcestershire Tornadus. Worcester, that's a hard word to pronounce. So this is the Week 2 battle. Week 1, we unfortunately did lose our battle. Going into Week 2, I was hoping to pick up a W, fix our record a little bit. Looking at the team he brought, So I had a plan going into this battle. My plan was to chip away at his team, set up with Altaria, and sweep. Now, he does have a couple things that can stop that plan. He has Bullet Punch on both Metagross and on Medicham, which is super effective. And if he has Scarf Chomp, I do have to Dragon Dance twice in order to outspeed it. But I do have Klefki to help support that. I have my team to help chip away at his Pokemon. And so going into this battle, I was pretty confident that I can put my plan into motion, set up everything properly, set up with Altaria, and get a sweep going. So let's find out if that happened. Alright, so this is our battle against James. He's rocking that really cool diagonal pose, which is always fun. So he starts with DJ Roomba, his Metagross. Now, I started with Piloswine, because Piloswine had a very good matchup against a lot of his Pokemon. It can Earthquake on Metagross, it can use Ice moves on Garchomp or Swellow. Now, he goes straight for the Steelium Z, I'm assuming Meteor Mash. Just trying to get as much damage, possibly even knock out my Piloswine. Now, I am not super worried because I made this Piloswine very bulky. It is max HP with an Eviolite, and so I know that it can live this Corkscrew Crash unless it crits. And here we see that thankfully it does not crit. I live on 27 HP, and this does allow me to go for an Earthquake, which knocks down this Metagross's health quite a bit. Does about 75, maybe 80% of health to this Metagross. Now, obviously he's just going to knock me out with a Bullet Punch, but that's fine. Piloswine has done what it needed to do, which was basically just weaken the Metagross, because Metagross is one of the things that's pretty dangerous to Altaria, so having it weakened is pretty good. Now here I go into Mulan, my Espeon, because I ran a calc, and I know that Dazzling Gleam has a very good chance to kill, depending on exactly what his stat is. I can't quite tell, but based on, it looks to be about 25%, and that's about as much Dazzling Gleam was going to do. So I go for the Gleam, and thankfully it does knock out this Metagross, meaning that's one big threat out of the way. It's just that much safer to set up and sweep with Altaria now. So he goes into Charlie, which is his Umbreon. Now, max HP, max special defense Umbreon. I calced still takes about 50%, so I don't know what exactly it was that caused him to take less than 50%. So that was pretty surprising to me. He was somehow more than max Spadef. Or maybe I just overestimated my Espeon's offensive ability. We do see the leftovers, so it's a pretty standard defensive supportive Umbreon. I go into my Darmanitan because I know that I can pretty much just click whatever I want and something's going to take a lot of damage. I start with U-Turn thinking he might switch out, and also U-Turn at that range was going to be able to kill. But after the Protect and with the leftovers chip, it's not going to be able to kill anymore, and my opponent probably realized this. He was trying to get that leftovers recovery to keep him out of range of that U-Turn. So expecting him to expect U-Turn and switch, I decide to go straight, or rather expecting him to know that U-Turn won't kill, I just go for Flare Blitz. I figure even if he goes into Whitney, which thanks to Thick Fat does effectively resist this, I can still do a lot of damage. It does about half, and with the calc I saw that that was probably a max roll. So not wanting to risk getting a min roll and either getting paralyzed or something, I just go for a Superpower. He brings in this Garchomp, and Superpower again does about half. So this is all very good because it's all very helpful chip on his Pokemon. So I do get hurt by the Rough Skin, no Rocky Helmet, which tells me this is probably more of an offensive Chomp. Probably Scarf. At this point I am suspecting Scarf, just because Scarf Chomp works with his team and it does a lot of things well. But I'm not sure of that. I let Darmanitan die to the Earthquake, because it's done what it's done. Maybe I should have been more defensive with my play, but I didn't really have a good switch into Earthquake, unless, without knowing what kind of set this Garchomp does. So I go into Klefki, I just set up my Reflect, because I figured I'm at the point in the game where I can start setting up with Altaria. Now here, he goes for Earthquake again. Again, I'm not sure if he's locked in, or if he's just clicking his best move. Here, he switches out of Garchomp and into his Miltank again, where I just go for a Spike. I figure getting a little bit of chip on his Pokemon will be pretty helpful. Stuff like Miltank or Umbreon, if they're defensive enough. Well, Umbreon not because it's weak to Altaria's stab, but Miltank, if it has enough bulk, can take +1 or even +2 attacks. So chipping it down just a little bit with entry hazards is helpful. Here I go into Gengar because I don't think that this Miltank, based on what I've seen, can really hit Gengar, and I think it's a little bit too early, especially with how much health it has, to be setting up with Altaria. So I just go for Hidden Power Fighting, which does about a third, and this Miltank goes for Earthquake. Thanks to the Reflect, it's not going to be doing very much damage. It does also about a third, maybe 40%, and I do get Cursed Body. And so here I'm expecting him to switch out. You know, since that his Earthquake is disabled, he can't really touch a Gengar. So at this point, I figure it is now safe to start setting up with Altaria, and he actually goes for Stealth Rock, which is also good. I did want to bring an Altaria in before the Stealth Rocks. So here I know that I can definitely get, so because of the Reflect and because of how much bulk I've given this Altaria, I know that I can take 2 of any attack it goes for, set up 2 Dragon Dances, and at that point I've won the game. So I go for my first Dragon Dance. Everything is great, you know, there's no problems or anything. The +1 attack, +1 speed is great. He goes for Body Slam. And...
watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now...
he gets a critical hit, which is extremely unfortunate because this means that, so with the return, that critical hit would have done, or the non-critical hit would have done very little damage through the Reflect. But because the critical hit ignores Reflect and does 1.5 damage, and that means I cannot live another Body Slam followed by Bullet Punch. Which means I cannot get a second Dance Up, which means I do not outspeed Scarf Garchomp. At this point, because he didn't bring in Scarf Garchomp immediately, I got a little bit optimistic that maybe his Garchomp isn't Scarfed. I assumed it might have been carrying P-Jab. Looking back, I realized that's probably just because the Reflect was still active and he wanted to use Fake Out to burn turn or Reflect. But I did carry Protect for the Fake Out, and even though Reflect is down, I do live the Bullet Punch and I go for Return. But again, if that crit Body Slam hadn't happened, I would have been able to safely go for a second D-Dance and still live the Bullet Punch. You can see that if I had gone for a second D-Dance, as was the plan, I would have died to BP, and that would have been a problem. Now, he does bring in Garchomp, and he does show me that it is Scarfed, and at this point I realize that I've lost the game. I don't want to say because of the crit, but it's because of the crit. I do think that if that crit hadn't happened, I would have been able to get a second D-Dance and win. I understand that there was still the chance of paralysis, and so it wasn't a guarantee, but it would have been nice. I am carrying Icy Wind on this Gengar just to be able to slow down Garchomp and Swellow in case I had another offensive mon in the back. I don't in this case. My only mon remaining after Gengar is Klefki, who does not have any offensive moves, and unfortunately this Icy Wind does not kill. I did calc afterward that if I had Hidden Power Ice instead, it had a chance to kill, so it's not like I screwed myself by just bringing Icy Wind over a stronger ice move or anything. And so the Swellow does go for Boom Burst, and knocks out Gengar thanks to Scrappy. I do disable the Boom Burst, and assuming that he is Specs, he is going to be forced to switch out when I bring in my Klefki, but knowing that Klefki does not have any offensive moves, this game has been lost. I only have dual screens, spikes, and safeguard. At this point he goes into his Umbreon and I just start clicking support moves, waiting for him to kill me. And that's the game. So hopefully next week I can do a little bit better. Hopefully I can actually get a win under my belt and have something go to plan without getting haxed. But hey, that's Pokemon, that's the game we play. Alright, see you guys next week.